Okay, everybody, welcome to this Skybow and Valo webinar, Valo and Skybow webinar. My name is Bart Wessels. I'm a product consultant at Skybow, and with me is Juha from Valo. Juha, the floor is yours.
All right. Hi, everybody. So, yeah, today it's about modern intranets with business apps. I hope it's working technically. Just feel free to type in your questions into the chat window of this session, so we will pick them up at a suitable moment and answer them. Or if you have any issues or problems technically with this meeting, just get in touch with us in some way or another. So we will try and make it work for everybody. So yeah, first of all, introduction. So my name is Juha Koivula. I'm a product manager with Valo team. And I have Bart with Skybow with me as well.
Yes, my name is Bart Wessels. I'm a product consultant at Skybow, and we will start with a 20-minute introduction of what Valo Intranet is, and then 20 minutes about how Skybow can help you with processes in a Valo environment. And at the end, 10 minutes of Q&A. So we hope to be ready before 5 o'clock.
Yeah, and we thought about setting up this webinar. We've worked together for a while already, Valo and Skybow, and this SharePoint and Office 365, as you know, the ecosystem is doing better than ever, and there are just so many third-party apps available out there for customers, so you don't have to program and develop so many things yourselves anymore. And Valo and Skybow, because they work nicely together, yeah, that's the main reason for this webinar. And yeah, the target audience is both like end customers, companies using the Office 365 platform, and also partners, meaning SharePoint experts. All right, so what is Valo first? Valo is a really plug-and-play intranet for Office 365 and SharePoint. We've been pretty successful lately with this product. We won last year this award for Best Intranet and Extranet at the European SharePoint Conference. And this year, actually, we are a finalist in 2 different categories. Best Intranet, Extranet again, and then also for the best mobile solution. Yeah, so the idea is really not to reinvent the wheel when you're thinking about a new intranet. Use Valo, which is a plug-and-play, instantly usable intranet. Really full of features. We have all the obvious features covered, such as news, events, content pages. Everything is targeted by user profile. There's the people finder. There's the social features. I will show you some of these features with a live demo. I will focus on a couple of most recent development we've done. We are also very proud of our multilingual features. So currently we are available out of the box in 17 different languages, and also other languages are possible if needed. So the idea is really to have a beautiful, user-friendly intranet out of the box without so much configuration or development. We've also got our own native mobile app, which makes it easier to browse and comment and like the corporate news. This one I will show you with a live demo. And the nature of Valo is really that it's really compatible with Office 365 and also available for SharePoint on-premises. We are very much in the spotlight in Microsoft marketing, just like this quote from a Microsoft person shows here. So this is from Ignite, and they are really highlighting and showcasing partners who are building with the most recent technologies in the Microsoft platform. And this Teamwork 2.0 that's being highlighted and talked about so much right now, I will also show you that with a live demo. Yeah, so we've also got 2 MVPs in the team. And so here's a couple of reference cases. We've already got more than 200 customers all over the world in 30 different countries. And here's a couple of examples how a Valo intranet can look like. So each company's intranet is unique, but by installing Valo and doing a couple of really straightforward modifications to the branding and information architecture, you can achieve an intranet in less than 1 week, thanks to this solution. Even this here is a Valo intranet. It was a little bit more customized intranet created for the customer VodafoneZiggo, and this partner who did it, they only spent 5 weeks from start to finish delivering it, and that's why they won this award, our award for the best customer success story of the year. All right, then let's have a look at a couple of the features with the live demo. So yeah, Bart, just let me know if there are any questions online, any issues, so we can discuss them whenever we want. If not, then let's just continue. So this is the front page of, sorry?
Yeah, you can continue.
All right, great. Yeah, so this is the front page of a demo intranet here, and there's really a multitude of features, and I'm not even trying to walk through all the features that we have here. I'll just highlight a couple. So the first one that I'm going to highlight, it has to do with the let me just check. Okay. So yeah, sorry. It has to do with the alert news. So here on top of the page in this desktop view, I can see one alert news like this, and I can push these alert news to the mobile app, to the Valo Intranet mobile app, and I'll just show you how to achieve that. So here I'm also sharing the screen of my mobile phone. It's a common Android phone like this. So as a content producer, I will just create a new alert news, which is typically a piece of news that you quickly want to publish to all of the company. So I don't know, let's something like this: snowstorm coming, so stay home if you can. And then when will it expire? Let's make it expire tomorrow. And here I can choose to send or not to send a push notification. So it means that with this solution, you will really reach your end users as long as they have the Valo Intranet mobile app installed in their iPhone or Android device. Then after saving this alert news, we will see that it appears right here on top of the page, the Intranet page like this. And then also after a little delay, it will also be displayed in the mobile app. Okay, while we wait for the notification to be pushed into the mobile app, let's just have a look at another cool feature we have here, namely the personalized tools and applications. Now, one of the big trends we see in intranets nowadays is the need for personalizing the content, whether it's the news or content or else. Also for the tools and applications, we have that need. By the way, I don't know if you heard, but in the background I had this alert in my mobile phone, and now I'll just share my screen, and you can see there on the top left corner you have that icon, and that's the push notification from Valo Intranet. So there was the snowstorm coming, and then it will be synchronized, and it will be the entire news item will be displayed here in the mobile app like this. Okay, so yeah, I was about to, now I'll just mute my phone so I don't get any more disturbances, any more notifications from there. So the user's own personal tools, for that we have this star icon here, and it's available as part of the top navigation anywhere, and that enables the user to manage their own links. The administrators, they manage this list of global links. So they provide the links for the end users. They might be links to internal systems like CRM or external websites or whatever. So I'll just, as an admin, I'll just add one link like this, like the HR system, for instance. I'll just put something here, perhaps like this. So the admins manage the available links like this in a central list, and then the users, wherever they are, they can just use their links, and they can then go and edit their own collection of links, and they will see all of the links that are available. And this HR link is displayed like this, and then as an end user I will just choose that, so that will be then part of my personal links. So that enables me as an end user to pick up from all of those corporate links the ones that I need. Furthermore, the users can also, wherever they're browsing in the intranet like this, I'm now in the HR page, I could add that particular page, like for reading later. I'll just add current page, and it's here as part of my links. Then I can also change the order of my links. I could modify the titles like this. And yeah, this is the way the users manage the collection of both corporate links and also their own personal links. And as you see, it's available and it's visible wherever you are in the intranet, so you don't have to go to the front page to access your personal links. Okay, the third and last feature I want to show today is what we are currently working on, and this is the teamwork, the new version of the teamwork part of Valo. So this is a little bit different from the classic intranet, because this is not about publishing news or contents. This is about collaboration and teamwork. And as most of you know, the world of collaboration is moving pretty rapidly right now in Office 365. There used to be just SharePoint as the main solution for collaboration, but nowadays there are more solutions. There's Microsoft Planner, there's Microsoft Teams, and then there is this Office 365 groups related to all of these applications. So the new teamwork solution in Valo, what it does, it gives the user an overview of all of those different applications that are out there. So whether I'm using SharePoint in some teams, and then some other projects are perhaps using Planner and so on, I have this overview over all of those team rooms or workspaces or groups or whatever you call them. And I can manage my favorites, so the ones that are favorites are always on top. And when I click on one of these, like the Digital Transformation Steering Group, it is then in this case, it's a modern SharePoint team site where I'm using all the features of SharePoint, like lists and document libraries and meeting calendar and whatnot. But this could also be Microsoft Teams or Planner or anything. And so this is the overview. And to find quickly the information I'm looking for, we have a search here. So I can just, for instance, if I'm looking for a steering group, I can just filter it like this. And also we've got the metadata for the groups. So if I know that the country of my team site is, for instance, USA, then this is the way I filter it. So this tool is very popular right now because customers are really noticing that the number of Office 365 groups that they have in their environments, they're really exploding. Because traditionally everybody can create Office 365 groups, but then afterwards it's very difficult to find those groups that you really want to find, and also the classification is an issue. So this tool, it not only gives you the overview of the groups, it also gives you the listing of all the documents that you have in those groups. So here's my latest documents that I've been working on from all of those groups, and then documents that others have worked on. And just like for the groups, I also have the metadata filters here to make it easier really to find the information. I can also see latest discussions from across my groups, and I can discover groups that are not secret but that I'm not yet a member of. So I can just say, okay, this is an interesting group, maybe I'll just have a look at the info, who the members are and what the metadata are and so on, and then I can just join the group, and it will be obviously switched over to this my groups listing page here. And also, what's a really useful feature of this is the managed creation of new groups. So the users don't have to actually know whether to use Planner or SharePoint or what. They can just choose a team or project or steering group for their new group, and then all they do is they fill in the metadata of this new group, like this: title, description, invite the members there, add all of those metadata, and then they order the group. And these groups will not be automatically created. There's the administrators have to accept or reject this new group order, and that's when it gets created. So there's a good it's a good managed process that enables you to manage the creation of groups, so you can avoid creating duplicates and such. Okay, let's see what else we had on in the presentation still. Yeah, a lot of things we're working on all the time. So the Valo team, the technical team, is focusing on the product, and there's a lot of stuff we can do all the time. So just one of the many topics is the mega menu that we're right now working on to make it easier to find the information from the intranet. But the biggest secret and the biggest benefit that many customers and partners find in Valo is its nature, that it's really an open platform and a really native SharePoint solution. So it's kind of the template for your SharePoint intranet, and we are not restricting the features in any way. So you can develop new features there. You can customize Valo. You can even modify some of the program code you have there. And yeah, you can add all kinds of third-party apps into your Valo environment. And this is this is why we teamed up with Skybow, and Skybow has made a great example of how Skybow, the Skybow product, can also be installed into Valo and used as part of the intranet context. So yeah, that was the Valo part, and I hope you enjoyed. And now it's time for Bart to show us how Skybow works and how I think you had made this cool employee onboarding process to really visualize the strengths of Skybow, right?
Yes, indeed. And I hope you can see my screen. My screen is visible, Joa?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So then the Skybow part. Skybow for solution builders. What we have is a solution studio that allows you to build applications on top of SharePoint for Office 365. And today I want to show you a few examples. I won't go too deep into how we build it, but more from an end user perspective today. We have other videos available on our YouTube channel that show you how things are built. But to give you some examples, a thing we can do, for instance, is employee management, which is typically an application that you don't build for many people that work in it. So therefore, it's also typically an application where probably the organization doesn't have that much money for. And that's where Skybow can come in, because what we have is a solution studio that allows you to build an application for employee management, for instance, and that will be only used for 10 people. And we built an example application that was built in just a few hours. So really affordable for small groups of users within your organization. It, of course, can have your own individual user interface. You can manage all your employees related tasks in one place. So therefore, we built a sort of data structure. I will show you that later on. and that allows you to create all the information about employees, education, children perhaps, documents, all connected to the individual employees. And you can even utilize every information that's already available somewhere in your SharePoint environment. And the fun part is, if you want to adjust the application, it can be done in minutes without any downtime. So another example could be contract management. For contract management, we also built an example solution, but typically for contract management, you want to have information about the document history, who approved this document, that should be somewhere stored in a list. You want to have document generation, for instance, in there. After a contract gets expired, you probably want to have a scheduled action that somebody gets an email, this contract is going to be expired. We create a task for this person and he gets an email, so he's notified. So more or less the system starts working for you. And with that, you probably want to have contract types manageable in one place. So we built an example solution that took us 16 hours to build, which makes it really affordable to use in, for instance, a small legal department. So switching to the demo, I will show you three things. First, I want to show you how contracts can be stored in a data structure. That will be in an example environment, but there you will see also that we can manipulate forms in SharePoint based on user input. Another example I want to show you is asset management in SharePoint. There I'm going to show you that we can build a master-slave relation and that we can do calculations with it, but also, for instance, use a master-slave related list and then generate a document out of it. And the third thing I want to show you is the employee management example tool that we've built in a Valo Intranet environment. So having said that, let's switch to the demo. So in here, you see an example environment where I can store contracts. There are already some contracts in. On top, I have list view search, which I can use to filter my context based on metadata. So based on the selection I make, I get more or less things to see. On the side, you will see action links, and these can contain several SharePoint actions in one. So if I would now, for instance, add a new contract in here, the new form will pop up, and I can select from my existing customers, and you will see that the title field is dynamically being calculated. And if I say it's a hardware contract for the IT department, and I make myself contract owner, and I add a value of 1000. If I now change this one to software, you will see that there are extra fields that appear. And now I can say software, it's a rent or it's a buy, and it's with or without software maintenance. And if I switch here to maintenance, you will see that the form changes again. So based on user input, we are able to change forms to help the end user filling in the form. If I now hit save in here, of course the contract will be stored. But what I added in the back is that the contract owner, in this case me, will also receive an email. So again, adding information from an end user perspective to SharePoint, but also helping the end user, because now he doesn't have to tell the owner anymore there's a new contract in SharePoint. I see that the email already comes in on my mobile phone. And let me open up the contract and switch shortly to here. Here you will see that a new maintenance contract from the IT department for Tailspin Toys is being stored. So directly you see that I get informed by the application. And what you will see in here as well, I opened up my my contract, and I have documents and tasks, and those are related to each other. And in here you can also see the different buttons I have. I can now edit this, but also I can add a document and I can add a task. So switching to asset management. For this, I have an example of a wine cellar. Look at it as asset management. In here, you will see different buttons, but if I switch here to edit wine, to edit this special wine, you will see that the moment the form pops up, I get a master-slave relation. And in here, there we go, I have the information about my wine, and in the bottom I have all the wines that I have in stock. And what you also see is that we can do calculations. I have now total amount of 50 bottles in stock, and if I would add 2016, and let's say I add 24 bottles, you will see that on top directly is also the calculation. And we add a price of 12 per bottle, and there is the total amount. If I will now save this and go back to my my list, you will see that I have the information about my wine. Hold on, I didn't go to the wine. Let's go back to the wine. So if I'm now back in this specific wine where I added the 2016 on top, in here I have this option called generate fact sheet. So by one hit on a button, SharePoint will now generate a document that contains information about the wine and all the wines that are available in the cellar. So if I open up the document, you'll directly see there is the information, and you'll see that the 2016 already is in there as well. So quite easy for an end user in this environment to work with. Now let me switch to my other browser. In here I have a Valo intranet, and what I did with Solution Studio is I picked our process for employee management, and I just simply installed it in minutes in the Valo intranet. So if I now go to employee management, I'm still in the Valo intranet, but I have skybow functionality available. And what you will see in here is it's an example application. I created 2 employees already. I can add a new employee from here, just like I showed earlier. And from here, I can go to the employee file. And what we did in there, as you will see when it's loading, we have stored lots of information about employees. We have education, we have certifications, we have children, we have documents, and we have tasks. And in here we have contact information, and I have a toggler which allows me to show more or less information. And if I scroll down a bit, there's the business information, there's private information, and so everything is stored in SharePoint, and from this point on, I can now collect information about education. So from here, I can add education simply by filling in a form. And title is SharePoint admin, education level. You can choose. Let's skip for now. You can't leave this blank, and my browser is not working with me. Okay, so there we go. It's reloading. So I previously added education. I also added some certifications. I didn't add any children. So what I can do is add my daughter into this system, like I'm filling in my own HR file, and her name is Fleur. What you will see is that the full name is automatically being calculated, and I can now save this into the system. If I go to documents, there are no documents in here yet, but what I will do is I will upload a document to this environment. So from here, I can simply grab a document, browse my demo document, boom. It's now being uploaded into my environment. It needs to have a title, and I'm a real end user, so I don't fill in anything. But what we make possible, if I go back to my form as once, is what we can do is calculations in the background. So I added my daughter into the system, and now in here I can directly see number of children is 1. If I would go to documents in here, what you will see is the document is loaded, but department and employee name are metadata to this document, and just that's due to the fact that they come from this and this field in the display form. So what we actually make possible in here is that you can create solutions for end users that can use several buttons on the side to add information to the system. What we can do is we can do calculations in the back, we can do metadata inheritance, and we can do aggregation. So we can count how many list items are available. In this example, the children. For the documents, we can inherit the metadata from the master element to the documents. And in this environment, it's quite easy to add functionality towards it. So if, and this will be the only technical outstep from here, if I switch to Solution Studio and go to my solution, and if I would open up my employee management solution in Solution Studio, then I can actually start already working on expanding this this data structure, expanding this business solution. So if I go here, and I won't go into detail in here since the nature of this session is not technical, but just to show you how it's possible, for instance, to add a button, give it a name, add a picture, I'll skip for now, and now I can add actions to this one button, and that can be several actions. And an action, for instance, can be, I want you to add a list item. I can point to a list, then I can go to the next action. There I can say, I want you to send out an email, and the email can be fully configured. And then I'd like you to show a success message, and that can be, so a message show a dialogue. And the next step could be that we do a redirect to a URL, so the end user doesn't end up in a list view, but he ends up in the display form again. So actually, it's that easy to add information to your environment. So your SharePoint partner can more or less on a Scrum way build the application with you. And for the end users, they end up having solutions that are very consistent, that are very structured, and that are easy to work with. So having said that, let's switch back to the PowerPoint and open up the floor for Q&A. Are there any questions?
Thanks a lot. That was a very, very exciting demo. Really concrete examples of what you can do with skybow. And
they fit naturally into each other. So that's for me the great part.
Yeah. Has it been difficult for your team to keep up with the changes in the Microsoft platform? I mean, you've been there for a while already, and you've transformed from on-premises to cloud, obviously, and so on. Is it difficult?
We're constantly working on it, of course. Also, we have our roadmap, and there are still more features to come. So, currently what we are working on is modern UI support, which of course is a thing everybody wants. So we're on top of that at the moment. And like I said earlier, we're constantly adding new features to this environment. I haven't showed you everything because otherwise it would be a technical session, but things we can do are scheduled actions, metadata inheritance, and with scheduled actions, for instance, you can look at your list with contracts and then say, okay, every Monday morning and the first day of the month, I want the system to check if one of my contracts will expire. If it expires, send out a task for the contract owner and send out an email to the contract owner. So we really making steps to make it possible to create very dynamic solutions on top of SharePoint.
Cool. That's really exciting.
So let me see if I can open up the questions.
Yeah, there's one that came in just now. The question is, do the extensions developed with skybow run on the Valo mobile app? Well, I can answer that. So yes and no. The Valo mobile app, it's like mainly focusing on the corporate news. Okay, so you're browsing and commenting and liking the corporate news. Now there is a kind of a backdoor, a button that says open the full intranet. So what it does, it opens the responsive version of the intranet. So as long as these skybow views that we were seeing, they were like seamlessly part of the Valo pages, as long as they are as such responsive, then yes, I would say that they do run on Valo as well, unless you, Bart, have a different view here.
Now we're out of the box SharePoint lists, and if you make it possible to view SharePoint lists in the mobile app, then that should work, I guess.
Yeah, so then it works. Yes. Then somebody is commenting that SharePoint is with capital B. Thank you very much.
Yes, that was Martin, and that's a stupid mistake of mine because I'm writing SharePoint down correctly since 2001.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Sorry for that, Martin.
All right. I suggest we'll just stay in line for a couple of minutes, just in case there's further questions.
Yes, and if not, if questions pop up afterwards, send them out via email to one of us, and we will write a blog post containing those questions and the answers we gave on those as well, as soon as this webinar will be made publicly available online.
Yep. So are you guys going to any of these events that are coming now? ESPC, you will be there, obviously.
Yes, we will be at ESPC. We will be SharePoint Saturday in Oslo. We will be in SharePoint Fest in Chicago, and I'm forgetting one event. And the Valo people?
Yeah, exactly those three events you mentioned. SPS Oslo, ESPC, SharePoint Fest Chicago, and then a couple of more still this year. There's one as far as in Santiago de Chile in 2 weeks, so I will be there. And yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities to catch up with both of our teams.
Indeed.
Okay, so
okay.
Shall we just wrap it up?
Yes, let's wrap it up. Everybody, thanks for attending, and I hope to see you again in one of these events, and otherwise in contact via email or in person. Thank you for attending, and thank you, Juha, for introducing Valo.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. Thanks,
okay.
everybody.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.